So, after Alice and Eliza had arrived, and we made our way to our magical training grounds of sorts, we gave Sylvia a call and expected her to teleport over quite shortly. I, of course, was still thinking about how best to bring up the topic of gaining these insights on these patterns that the man in the pinstripe suit talked about. The fact that Sylvia had already joined one of the alliances was a definite benefit. She could gain magical assets and resources without having to put herself in danger. Specifically, she had joined the Cigar, the Dark Magical Alliance. I had thought about asking her about the service requirement within the Dark Magical Alliance to get some more in-depth details about it. However, after thinking over the negative things that I was told about it, I thought that it might be a poor subject to broach. As part of the agreement between me, Alice, and Eliza when it came to our magical enhancement products, we agreed to keep it a secret until we came out for the testing. Each of us was carrying them in their initial box, so that they couldn't be seen. One could only really make out the size of the box it was held in. And as Sylvia was probably on her way any time now, I decided now might be a good time to see if I can find out what their magical enhancement products were. So, Alice, what was your magical enhancement product? Can I take a look? We are about to start the training after all, I said, as politely as I could, hoping that she wouldn't want to keep it top secret until she used it. Oh, sure, no problem, Reginald. I actually really like mine. I think it fits me perfectly, Alice said, grinning from ear to ear. She set the case down on the ground, opening it up. It was smaller than mine. Based on the size of it, I might expect something of the size of a wand, maybe. But after opening it and lifting it from the case, it wasn't surprising that I was wrong. And after seeing it, the fact that that was Alice's magical enhancement product made perfect sense. She stood up, lifting from the case what appeared to be a long-length dagger, with a thin, elegant design shined to perfection. Beautiful patterns etched into it that served a function of making it look nice, as well as, I assume, having magical properties of their own. The blade was a perfectly polished steel with a silvery tone to it, and a fine fuller that went up the center, leading down to a small pommel, looking like it was forged of silver. The handle appeared to be some sort of polished marble, fitted with silver pieces, and a purple gem affixed to the center of the pommel, on both sides of the blade. After taking it out, Alice began to twirl it around with an incredible amount of dexterity. She wielded that knife like she had done it 1,000 times, throwing it back and forth between hands while twirling it around, which looked incredibly hazardous, but she did it with ease, smiling giddily as she watched it spin from hand to hand. It's just perfect, Reginald. The balance is excellent. It's extraordinarily light, and the blade is razor sharp, just how I like it. I can't wait to try it, but I wish I had something a little bit more interesting to try it on besides trees. Trees are boring. They don't scream at all, Alice said, starting to look a little bit disappointed. So, what about you, Reginald? Come on, show me your magical enhancement object. I bet it's something regal, like a scepter. Or maybe a sword like King Arthur. Or maybe it's something that fits the more business side of Reginald, like a tie for a business suit. Frankly, it wouldn't even surprise me if it was something like a quill and ink. Maybe some papers. You do sign a lot of paperwork, Alice said, looking at me as I slowly placed the case down on the ground. Opening up my case and lifting from it the cane, I showed it to Alice and Eliza. Wow, a cane. I wasn't expecting that one, Reginald, Alice said, looking at the cane with an interesting expression. Feeling somewhat confused, I imagine. No, I think that about fits him, Eliza announced. It seems neat and orderly. A little bit more about prestige than combat. About looking the part of a businessman. I'd definitely say the whole cane thing fits. And it does look fairly impressive for a cane. As if it was pretty expensive. And based on the cost of my magical enhancement product, I definitely don't doubt it, Eliza said, before starting to look quite perturbed, her eyes glancing to the side, sort of looking as if she was embarrassed about something, beginning to cross her arms and look a little bit more closed off. Oh, okay, Eliza, I said. Well, it's your turn. What's your magical enhancement product? I asked, tossing my cane back and forth between my hands, giving it a little twirl. I probably couldn't help but get a little bit of a smile on my face. I did like this thing. I don't really think it's important, Eliza said. Honestly, I think I'm gonna ask for a refit. Something else. I just don't think that the one I got is right for me exactly, Eliza said, still acting embarrassed and starting to flush a little bit, becoming red in the face. Oh, come on, Eliza. It can't be that bad. What is it? I said. I mean, I'm walking around with a cane. People are going to think I have some sort of disability, I said, chuckling a little bit, trying to make Eliza feel more at ease. Eliza just growled. Fine, she said, abruptly, pulling out what appeared to be a green sack with golden weaved fibers for the strings and patterns sewn into it with the same golden fibers. She loosened the top of the sack and pulled from it an object, a cloth object, which she then begrudgingly placed on the top of her head. For a few moments, I simply looked at her, kind of dumbfounded. I wasn't honestly sure what to think of it. Alice, on the other hand, had one and only one reaction: to laugh furiously. That is so you, Eliza. I think it fits you perfectly, she said between laughter. I think Miss Sylvia hit it right on the nose. Eliza simply scowled over at Alice. Still, her face beet red, and I think she was still a little bit too concerned to say anything to her. The object that Eliza had pulled from the sack and placed on her head appeared to be some sort of finely made cloth hat, green with golden threads laced into it for patterns, and two very sizable, what appeared to be bunny ears, and small amber stones embedded in the hat that made it look like little eyes. Eliza's magical enhancement product was essentially a childish hat that made her look like she was wearing bunny ears, which quite frankly was fairly adorable. Adults would definitely think it was cute. Eliza, however, who tended to want to be taken more seriously, didn't seem to feel that way about it. I honestly thought it fit her personality quite well. Eliza was often a very happy and playful person, especially when she was talking about building something. And even her magic casting seemed to revolve around childish imagery, toys, and things of that nature. But I suppose since she didn't have to wear her magic, it didn't really bother her that much, or affect the fact that Eliza tended to try to dress and act very adult around most other people, only really being happy and go-lucky around us. She wanted to be taken seriously as an inventor and an engineer, and silly little bunny ears probably wouldn't help that much. So, as expected, Eliza didn't really like it.